Hello, welcome to my channel. See, today we're looking for Jarvis Sayler. And I just want to point out, there's so many things. I question everything. Because when he went missing, his adopted brother, claimed to be his twin. Well, first he was collecting his Social Security benefits, like $500,000 worth he collected over the years. He went in and tried to get ID under his name, and it was flagged because he already had a driver's license with that photo. So I don't know if he'd ever had ID before. I don't know if the height and weight's correct. And then here it says 1998, but you see this says 1988, and lower it'll say 1988. This says he was 37 years old, but it says he was 41, born in 1941. So 41 and 37 is what? 78. That would have been 1978. So he would have to be 47 years old here and 57 here. So I'm so confused, and I question everything. Everything. So I'd like to know, what year did he really go missing? How much did he really weigh, and how tall was he really? Because I don't know. Let's read some more on it, all right? So he traveled from his native Missouri. I always want to say Missouri because that's what, we always say that. He traveled from his native Missouri to Vancouver, Washington, and this says in the summer of 1988. He planned on staying there for a visit and then returning to Missouri because he had purchased property and he was going to build a house in Missouri. He never returned there. His brother, who also lived in Missouri, reported him missing in March 1989 after they learned the property had been repossessed and put up for auction. That's 1 year later, and I think it used to be 10 years back in the day, and now I think it's like 3 years in some places. So I don't think they're going to do that after 1 year. So everything to me is like messed up. So Jarvis had gone to Vancouver to see his brother, who was adopted, Chris Harvey Sayler. I don't know how many of them were adopted, but I know that it sounds like Chris was. Chris told police that Jarvis had moved to an apartment in Vancouver that had a disagreement, and he hadn't seen him since. Another of their brothers said it was uncharacteristic of him to be out of touch with his loved ones. In 2013, Chris Harvey Sayler went in identifying himself as Jarvis to get a state identification card imposed for the photo. The photo was flagged by the DOL's automated facial recognition system because he already had a driver's license under the name Chris Sayler with a similar photo. In 2015, Chris returned to the DOL office 2 years later to explain the discrepancy. He said that Jarvis was his twin brother, and that's why it had triggered the photos. When it was pointed out that they're 4 years apart, he replied, "Oh, it's a rare situation, but it does occur." What's a rare situation? That they're twins that are 4 years apart? And it says they're not twins. In fact, they're not even related because Chris was adopted. So he's been collecting his checks all this time, so he must have had some kind of ID, right? So what's the real height and weight? The issue was referred to the DOL's License Integrity Unit for investigation, sent to the Social Security Administration, and then in 2018 was charged with identity theft and excess device fraud. He had collected about $500,000 in Social Security benefits and retirement benefits meant for Jarvis. That's $500,000. Investigators believe Chris has been cashing Jarvis's checks since 1998. 1998 or 1988. See what I mean? All the years are messed up. That year, Chris photos appeared on Jarvis's identification card for the first time. However, Jarvis checks have been collected in cash since 1988, the year of his disappearance. So he had been doing it since then. And he had been receiving the checks since 1977. He was known to be living in an apartment in Vancouver because he called the police to report prostitution activity in the apartment complex. But that doesn't show how long he had lived there, and that doesn't mean he wasn't going back home when he owned property to build a house. His whereabouts since then are unknown, and they don't know if he's still alive. Well, I don't think he's still alive. It's been too many years. And Chris was the last person known to have seen him. So now I question, did something happen to him and Chris knew it and didn't tell his loved ones? I was desperate to collect his money, or did Chris do something to him so that he could get all that money? Maybe, I don't know. But I question everything because the dates seem wrong, the age seems wrong, so I don't know if the height and weight's correct. So I tried to look through the Does, but I don't know. So I found this one, and this one was in Canada because they're close to Canada, but I didn't measure the distance to see how far this part of Canada is from there. I'm going to be honest with you. So I usually try to do it like if it's a couple of hours away or within a couple of hours, hour and a half, something like that. But I didn't. 5'11" to 6', 161 pounds. And so I don't know if that could be him or not because I don't know what year he actually went missing. And I think he's already gone now. This is July 11th, 1998. And it says there's no way. There's no weight, just the height. And then the other ones are all shorter. Well, this one's 6 foot tall, so that's close to it. So this could have been him, 1987. I think this might have been him. Let's look at this. I'm going to scoot this over there, because let's look at the face. I really think that this is him right here. I think maybe August 3rd, 1987. Maybe he actually went in 87 and that's when. And it says suicide, but maybe it wasn't a suicide because I know back in the day, people used to make it look like a suicide when it wasn't. There was one woman that I remember back in the day, and she had 3 different husbands that had killed themselves. And I think it was a suicide with a gunshot. Nothing ever happened to her because they said it was a suicide. So I think this looks like it could be him. And 6 foot tall and 5'11", so that's pretty close. 180 to 200 pounds, 170 to 190 pounds. Honestly, I'm thinking this might be him because with the dates being all wrong and everything. This one, maybe it was 1987 that he went there, so yeah. And I don't think it was a suicide. But yeah, I think that really looks like it could be him. And that's in Portland, Oregon, so maybe a lot of people travel to Portland, Oregon from Washington, I think, to do things. So, or they used to. And so this is Canada. We looked at that one, and that was 1998. I think he's dead already by then in 1998. This is 1988, but he's only 5'4". Like I said, I don't know about the height and weight. So I question everything. This is 5'5". This one's 5'7" to 5'10", but only 115 pounds. This one's 5'6", but it's red auburn hair. So, and this one is 5'5", and this one is 5'6". So if I had to take a guess, if he's any of them, which he may not be any of them, but if I was just going to guess, and think if he was one of them, which one would he be? I would think it would be this one. And that's just my opinion. Please feel free to give me your opinion. What do you think? Do you think he's any of them? It's so hard. It's so hard to figure that out because he's been getting that money since 1977. They think he complained. For all I know, it could have been the brother at his apartment. It may not even have been him. How do they know it was really him? Right? He could have just said it was him. Maybe he didn't actually get an apartment. Maybe it was his brother did that. His adopted brother. Wouldn't that be crazy? That makes sense. But I don't know. Because I really think this might be him. That's just my opinion. And I'm taking that ball and running with it as far as I can go. So anyway, please feel free to give me your opinion and let me know what you think. Because, it's It's crazy. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to pray for his loved ones and his family and the investigators. Can you imagine trying to solve this case? That's crazy. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Please feel free to leave comments and have a great day. Bye bye.